Good morning.
Good morning.
How's it going? I didn't bring me a Vanna White to work my computer. So, Joe, do I have you? No, I'm just kidding. So, like she said, I'm a therapist. Do I have to use this? I'm just throwing y'all program all the way out. I'm loud. All right. So, because I like to move around and I might go over here and everything. So, yeah, something like that. So I'm a therapist, like she said. I've been doing counseling for like 20 years. I know that's going to sound like, what's my age? But I retired last year from county government. I worked in the prison system for 20 years, and I was a drug and alcohol counselor there. And during my time in prison, that's when I learned that I wanted to do more. I normally say that I was wanting to do, so many people get it. That during my time in prison, as a counselor, I knew then that the problems were not with the individual necessarily. You're just not getting it right. Okay. Miss Wilson already told me if I have any problem with you all, let her know. So I just, yeah. So I said I can do better work in marriage and family. So I went back and went to school and got my marriage and family therapy license and everything. And so now I practice in private practice, since everybody getting a shout out for their company. I do private practice 6363 Poplar at Massey in the Bancorp building. Be sure to come by and see me.
What's your phone number?
901-870-7728. Call me. I know she said make a meeting, but I don't know if y'all want to meet with me. Because just picture, if everybody met with me, I would be busy this week. So hook that meeting up. All right, so that's what I do at nighttime, and then the daytime, like she said, I got out of retirement. I stayed retired for like 9 months and staying at the house. I said I can get used to this. And then Lakeside called and said we have a new program that we want to open, and it's for professionals. And so this program here is special, and it's my baby because I set the program, I set the curriculum, and now we went from one person, and now we have 36 people in the program. Huge! Come on! Woo! Now that's huge because for 2 months I looked at one person who enrolled in our program, and I was like, was this the right decision? Have you all made a decision and thought about it like, was this the right decision? Because I'm like, every day nobody's coming. You know how they say if you build it, they'll come? Well, they didn't come. And so now we've been open since April. And now since then, we've had 2 grand openings. We had our first grand opening, and then because we outgrew that building, we had to do another grand opening because we moved to a new building. So I brought some information about the landing. It's strictly for professionals, and that just means people who work. Because there's a stigma on mental health that if you go to Lakeside, then you must be that C word. What you say? Crazy. But that's not true. Sometimes we all need help. And doctors need help, lawyers need help, nurses need help, therapists need help. I got a therapist, right? But so we got to remove that stigma. So a lot of times I do a lot of these speeches just to make sure that we all know the truth about mental health. All right? So that's what I do. Basically, now let me get to the speech. Normally I have a whiteboard here. So I'm going to try and do this without a whiteboard. If I run to that whiteboard, can you all turn that way? Is that possible? Yeah. Okay, because I like to talk to y'all. I don't like to be that little boring person that sit here and do all that. I like to show y'all what I mean. So if you all can turn a little bit this way, and I'll engage, and we might be good. All right. So I want to just show you. Well, that might not work. Is it what? Okay. All right. So when you say trauma, I need y'all to talk to me because this is my class. All right. When I say trauma, what do I mean when I say trauma? What's that? This new word trauma. When we say trauma, what are we talking about?
Distress.
Who said distress? Distress. Right. And what did you say?
A horrible experience.
A horrible experience. So when we say trauma, I'm not a teacher, ladies and gentlemen, so I write in Spanish on the board. So we'll make our way through it, right? So trauma is a deep, distressing event. All right? I want you all to think in those terms. What is trauma? Because if I ask you all, what is trauma? You would probably say trauma has to be rape, trauma has to be molestation, trauma has to be abuse. And so if I ask you, have you ever been traumatized? You probably would say what? No. Because we are accustomed to thinking that trauma is just geared towards rape, molestation, and abuse. But when you think about trauma, I like to say trauma is a deep, distressing event. Now, how do I say a deep, distressing event? Because what may be deep distressing for me may not be deep distressing for you. And so if I come to you, Miss McDonald, and say that I lost my cat, and you say, child, get out of here. I lost my husband, and you're crying to me. Oh, that's your husband. No. No, Troy. I met you last night on the phone, so I know you're still alive. But if I say I lost my cat and you measure against what you've been through, then you may discount what I've been through, right? But what's a trauma to me may not be a trauma to you. And so what I'm trying to educate through this speech is that trauma is a deep, distressing event that causes us one or two things. Number one, hurt, and number two, pain. So when I think of trauma, and when you say trauma, what is trauma? Trauma is that thing that happened that a lot of people tell you to get over it. Right? Haven't you heard that before? Girl, why don't you get over that? Child, that happened a long time ago. Get over it. But you want to tell them, I can't. I just can't get over this. Well, I lost my husband 20 years ago. Child, you're a little, but he meant something more to me. Mine did. And I know it's not something simple. I can just get over it because it's causing me hurt and pain. And this hurt and pain is different. It's unique because it's that silent pain that just tap at your foot. Right? If I were to just keep tapping on your foot. This the wrong person to do it? I think they pick on her all the time. She shouldn't have been up front. So I just tap on your foot. Eventually, what's Nikisha? You don't turn your badge around. She turned her badge around. So. Nikisha? No. Anika. Eventually, what is Anika going to do if I continue to step on her foot? She's going to do what? She's going to hit me, right? And she's going to knock all my pretty teeth out that I paid for, right? So was she really trying to knock my teeth out? What was she trying to do? Stop the hurt and pain. So when we talk about people who have drug alcohol abuse, pornography addiction, sex addiction, what are they trying to do? Stop the hurt and pain. But we don't ask the right questions. We always say, what happened to you? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you that you can't get your stuff together? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? But nobody pauses to ask your spouse, your son, your daughter, your friend. I don't want to know what's wrong with you. I want to know what happened to you. Because if I can find out what happened to you, that'll explain the things that you're doing. But we don't understand that part. And that's the piece that I explain to the clients that I see. I don't care. They come to my private practice. Charles, my wife sent me here because I got this pornography and I know you're going to tell me to stop. So let's go and get it. I say, I ain't going to tell you to stop. And they're like, huh? No. Because I know it's something deeper in there. I don't care about the behavior that you're doing. I care about what happened to you. Not what's wrong with you. And nobody cares enough to pause and say, sit your son down and say, hey, I know you're cutting up in school. I know it. But tell me what happened to you. Because you know what? That takes work. That takes communication. That takes, I got to pause for a moment. I have to deal with this. Yes, we have to deal with it. But we want to point the finger. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? But nobody has ever asked me, what happened? What happened to you? So I want to talk about three things: my story, my event, and my behavior. Let's go with my event. I told you trauma is a deep, distressing event. What are some type of events that might be traumatizing? Name them for me. Fail a test? Typical student, yes. But you know what? That's new. The list keep growing because that could be. I got clients that actually check in at Lakeside for Professionals from Christian Brothers University, University of Memphis, and said, I can't get this test together. So I may be laughing, but that's actually true. And then some of them think that I just can't do college anymore. You know what I'm saying? So that's actually true. What else? What's some other events?
Loss of a loved one.
Car accident, loss of a loved one. Divorce. I wanted to write down what you're saying. Abuse. So you got my event. That's Spanish again. My event. You got divorce. You got loss of a dream. You got death of a loved one. And what else you say? Test failed. Abuse. And under abuse, we're going to put physical abuse, sexual abuse, and mental and emotional, right?
Right.
What else? What's some other events that may happen?
Lose your job.
Loss of a job. And we can go on and on. What about bullying? Bullying one?
And seniors, it's loss of their, like their life has changed.
Okay.
Due to illness or...
You know what I'm put that under?
Life change.
Loss of a dream. That's one that's getting huge. Loss of a dream. What I expected my life to be, and it's not working out that way. No, I didn't go through abuse. No, I didn't go through sexual assault. But I lost my dream. I married the woman and the man of my dreams, Joe. And at that moment, we had kids. We had 2.5 kids. Anybody know what 2.5 kids is? I keep reading that, and I haven't found, what do you have, 2 kids and a 0.5? I don't know yet. But, hey, 2.5 kids. And that's not how I imagined my life to be set up. I always thought I would be married with the white picket fence, with kids and dogs. And then one day my husband walk out and leave me. I can get over probably him leaving me, but I can't get over what they say. I can't get over the dream. I can't get over the loss. And what's eating me up every day is the loss of what I imagine my life to look like at this point. Even students. I thought I was going to graduate by now. I thought I'd be out of school and with my bachelor's. Then I see on Facebook, graduated with a master's, and everybody's showing a good time on Facebook. And then I'm sitting here and I'm still in school and I'm trying to figure out what went wrong with my life. And that's that silent hit that just hits me all the time. And I'm trying to figure out why I'm not like my sister, why I'm not like my brother, why I'm not like my mom, why I'm not like my dad. What makes me different? Because my life now is not working out the way that I planned it. And that's a loss of a dream, like you said with the seniors. And they live all of their life, and they get to the end, and they look back over their life and say, what have I done? What did I do? What didn't happen for me? So that loss of a dream is becoming big. And then after you have your event, next thing you have is your story. My story. Your story is the thought that you take from this event. What am I going to take and tell myself as a result of the divorce? What made you tell yourself? What might you say?
It was his fault.
Right. That's what I'm going to get to. But you would generally say it's my fault, right?
What did I do wrong?
What did I do wrong?
I'm unlovable.
I'm unlovable. I'm not good enough. I'm broken. I'm a failure. Right? We start telling ourselves all of these stories as a result of the event that has happened in our life. And that story shapes our entire life. Because if I were to be honest with you all, even now as professionals, and you all are doing real good, owning your business, and you're doing good. But if I were to ask you, what negative story do you tell yourself? What would play? Do I have anybody that's want to be honest? We family here. The doors are closed. Nobody listening. What do you tell yourself? Anybody want to be honest? Yes, ma'am.
I tell myself I'm good.
You're good.
I'm inventive, innovative,
Okay.
and I always do my best, and I treat people very, very well.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that. Anybody else? You tell yourself.
Make it good, honey.
I played the bad tape that I'm clumsy.
I'm clumsy. Thank you for being honest. I appreciate that. I'm clumsy. Anybody else don't want to leave Miss McDonough out? Yes, sir.
I tell myself that I'm compassionate.
You're compassionate. Okay. Thank you. Anybody else?
I tell myself I could do better.
You can do better. You can do better. So we tell ourselves these stories as a result of the event that happened in our life. I'm not good enough. I'm a failure. I'm too fat. I'm too ugly. I'm too black. I'm too skinny. I'm not good enough. It was my fault. I won't ever make it. I'm too dirty. No one will ever want me. And as you tell yourself these stories, it's a result of the event that has happened in your life. If I was bullied, I may think I'm too weak. If I got divorced and my wife left me, I might think that I'm not good enough.
So you play the recording.
So you play that tape over and over and over again.
I got something to tell you too. You got 7 minutes.
Okay? All right. So then my event, my story, and then my behavior. I'm on the last one anyway. My behavior. So you got 4 behaviors: fight, flight, freeze, and appease. My fighters are the ones that's angry. You know those coworkers or those friends that always get angry? I come in and I move your water over just a little bit because I wanted to put my book there, and you come in and you say, "Who moved my water?" Anybody know who moved my water? And all of us are like, what is wrong with that chick? Right? You got some coworkers like that, right? Yeah. And you're trying to figure out, why are you so angry, just mad all the time? Good morning. And you're trying to figure out, why are you so fighting, angry? But we tend to run away from those type of people. But what you don't know is, if you were to ask them what happened to you, I was bullied all my life. I was abandoned. So when I was being bullied, I thought, in order to not show weakness in my story, I'll fight back. So now, was it really about you moving my water, or what was it really about? What was it about? Disrespect. Disrespect. You didn't ask my permission. Boundaries. And I'm sick and tired of people crossing my boundaries. So now I have to fight first. But if we don't know the event that goes all the way from the behavior, we'll think that that person is just evil. But if you ask angry people, you know who angry people are? The most caring people. Because you know why? I go call them out to the side, Joe. Why are you fussing? I'm just tired, Charles. I'm just tired. I'm tired of people. Well, now and now you were finna kill everybody. But now on the side, they start crying. You know why? Because I care. Charles, I don't want to treat nobody wrong. It's just I'm sick of people. I know it. And that's what the side that we miss. But we'll run from those angry people. Those are not the people I need to run from. It's the quiet ones. Fight, flight, my flight. How many time? I got 4 minutes. Flight. My flighters. Okay. My flighters are the one that runs away. As a result of the event, as a result of what they tell themselves, they are the runner. I don't want to deal with this. I'm going to check out. You can be talking to your husband. I told you to empty the garbage. And he comes in, he's like, man, I'm gone. Come back here. I'm tired of you walking every time we try to argue. Because he said, no, this is too much. You laughing hard. Y'all must, that's how you. She said, this is too much because I grew up in an abusive home where they yelled, where they screamed, and I don't want to deal with this. What is flight behavior? Drugs, alcohol, pornography, gambling. Because what it do, it takes me away from that hurt and pain. So the next time you see somebody using drugs or addicted to pornography, I seriously ask you to change the question we ask. What's wrong that you want to do it? What are you escaping from? What hurt and pain that's deep that you have not told me? We got to have those type of conversations. Then you got freeze behavior, which is the bad case of, I'm on TV, so the bad case of the forget-its. I say that. That you don't even care anymore. I don't care. That's freeze behavior. I don't even care. Well, I'm going to leave you. I don't leave. Leave. My mama left me when I was a kid. My dad left me when I was a kid. Just leave. I don't even care anymore. Everybody else left me. You don't even care anymore. Bye. And then you got the last one, appease. That's the one that want to make everybody happy. Because I know what it feels like to be lonely. I know how it feels to be without a friend. So that means I'll do whatever it takes to keep you. I always say the appeasers are the ones that will set themselves on fire to keep everybody warm. You know you hate that. You know you don't want to do it. But if doing it makes you stay, because my story is I never have nobody, I'm not good enough, and so I keep you. It doesn't matter. Use me. Girl, we seen him on Bill Street with somebody. I don't care. 2 minutes. Because I know what it feels like to be alone, and I'd rather have a half a man than a whole one. Ooh. Woo, that woo. This a wild bunch over here. So what we do is we belittle our boundaries, we cross our boundary, we do things we say we'll never do, and then we end up being the one on fire. And so I'm sitting here in this chair, and I'm on fire, but no one is walking by me to put me out because everybody around me is comfortable. So I have to tell people, this is how you are. I put a chair in the middle. You are on fire, but everybody in your house is comfortable. So who's going to check on you? And what you're doing is killing you. But long as my husband fine, long as my kids fine, Charles, it's just whatever. Until you come and see me at Lakeside or in private practice. And I say, you got to put your own self out. Because everybody else is comfortable with you burning up. And you feel like you're all alone because you know what? I'm comfortable with it. Your fire is keeping me warm. So burn, baby, burn. They ain't saying it, but that's what they doing it. And so we got to come to reality that I am good enough, that I will have somebody, that I don't have to be on fire just to keep you warm. And if you can't love me and respect me for who I am, then I have to say goodbye. But I got to resolve my trauma issues. I got to resolve my story. 30 seconds. Which one can we change? My event, my story, or my behavior? Behavior. A wholehearted behavior, right? My story. I tell people at Lakeside and I tell people in my private practice, I'm not here to change your behavior. I'm here to change your story, because if I can change the way you think, I can change the way you act. And if you've been thinking that way, that I'm too fat, I'm not good enough, I'm a failure, I'll never be, then I can put you in a 30, 60, 90-day program and get you off drugs and get you off alcohol. But if you have not changed that story, that you're not a failure, then you're going to go back to something else. And what will it be next time? And that's why people say, you just can't get your shit together. I can't get it together because my story has not changed. I went to a 30, 60-day program, but they didn't change my story. They changed my behavior, but I still think I'm the same failure. And every time that message come up, I reach for something to ease the hurt and pain. And now I'm addictive behaviors, and the cycle continues until you can come to the landing. And I speak and I sit with you for 2 and 3 weeks at a time, and we work to change that story. Then you wouldn't want to use what you use, because you know you're good enough. That makes sense? Thank you. 0, I'm on time. I got you.